Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Take it, Robbie.
Swings a web. Na, na, na,
I don't know the rest of it.
It gets tough from there, yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're here with young Robbie Fox. Robbie, where's the applause button for Robbie?
Gonna make it in the edit.
And Christian, my mighty producer. Today's all going to be about Spider-Man. I'm so happy you're here, buddy.
I'm happy I'm here as well. I love Spider-Man. I love you. I love doing this.
I mean, Christian was telling me, let's, reach out to some people, get them in, people that you have fun with, people that you have a nice conversation with. So, I go, all right. I look through my phone. I don't like bothering people. You know what I mean? So I go, and then all of a sudden on my Instagram, I see you talking to Kevin Smith. And I go, oh, shit. First of all, love Kevin Smith.
Love him.
A long-time fan. Fan. And I feel almost, when I saw, and it's so funny because I just saw him on Theo Vaughn. Mm-hmm. That was great.
Yeah.
He is such a likable guy.
Yeah.
I almost felt bad that I didn't like some of his latest stuff where I was like, as a fan, I'm like, how'd you like this He-Man series?
I didn't love it, but I was never a He-Man guy, so it was hard for me to get into it. I didn't have the background.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. And then the Jay and I loved Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
loved it. And you know what? I got to give Did you like the second one?
I did. Yeah, it was very like meta fan servicey, but it knows what it is. It's very goofy and fun in that way.
You know what? I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah,
because I started it and then I didn't get through. I'm going to give it another shot because I don't know. I think he's such a likable guy.
He's the best.
Yeah. So I seen you talking to him, and then instantly I gave you a DM, and immediately Christian.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah,
he didn't hesitate.
I don't think he would have.
He just was like, hell yeah. So I'm like, shit, Robbie, let's go. Robbie, our origin story is I do UFC Unfiltered forever with our good friend Jim Norton, and we get co-hosts sometimes and guest co-hosts, and that's when they brought you in.
Yeah.
Right?
I did it a lot back in the day.
100%.
We did so many episodes together. It was very fun.
We did. And then when I do my movie minute, when I geek out, I immediately knew. It was like that scene out of Step Brothers when I'm like, wait a minute, Robbie's into all the same shit.
Did we just become best friends?
Exactly. We were building bunk beds and everything. So Spider-Man, you're into everything.
Everything.
So you're going to be back again. You're going to be a reoccurring guest.
I would love that.
Guest co-host. Because there's so many different things we could talk about. I mean, when I saw you with Kevin Smith, we thought about maybe doing the Kevin Smith movies, and then we talked about Star Wars. I'm having Georgie on here soon, George St. Pierre. So
that one, I was like, I understand. I could give it up to GSP.
I might have to keep it with George. George loves that shit.
I know.
I started bringing up to him on Unfiltered about, and it's funny because you could get someone so far and then just go too far geeky, and they'll be like, well. So I'm like, well, this Star Wars series, did you ever, I don't want to call it cartoons, but you ever watch the Clone Wars? And he's like, I watched all of it, my friend. He read the books. So I'm like, ow! So George is all in with that. So I'm gonna go in deep with him with that. By the way, before we get into Spider-Man, what'd you think of the Acolyte?
I wasn't the biggest fan. I didn't think that a lot of the outrage that it got online was all justified. Like,
really?
People calling it like the worst show of all time. I thought it was watchable, but I didn't think it was great. I was never like fully captivated by it. I thought it had its moments.
I didn't like a lot of things about it. I didn't like anything about it. But I didn't like with the there was, how like Star Wars was like A New Hope, right?
Oh yeah.
This was like no hope. I mean, everybody was just because you start to, and I wanted to see growth in the characters. Like I did never like the cocky. What's the one with the dreads? With the
Yord. Oh, he was. I didn't.
He was horrible, but I wanted to see him have his moment. He never had it.
I didn't love him. I didn't love the main characters.
But I thought that he would have a moment of like, where all right, he's kind of being a buffoon, but then all right, he mans up and he goes out in style. He just gets his head snapped, neck snapped.
It was kind of metal. Seeing a head snap in Star Wars.
The fight scenes. It's not the problem with the fight scenes. It's the problem with the whole characters. Like, and then you had his Padawan. What's her name?
Daphne came from, but Daphne came from Logan. Yeah.
Yeah. Now there was a potential there.
There was.
The whole series should have been her.
Yeah.
There was potential there, and she just gets bang.
She had nothing to do.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. They killed off the characters that you're starting to maybe get attached to, and then they make the two little evil twins kill the best guy in the series, and
he was great. Soul, he was really good. Him and the bad guy I thought were pretty good.
I still don't know. Yeah, but I still don't know why Tormund killed himself. What's he so guilty about?
I was also confused with the Wookiee. The Wookiee was he had mind control,
and they did it. Oh my goodness! So anyway, lots of problems with that.
We're not here to talk.
We're not here to talk. We're not here to shit on the Acolyte. That's a whole other episode. Trust me, it's coming.
I love the way you say the Acolyte.
What is it called?
The Acolyte, I think.
Yeah.
But you add a little Long Island to it.
Yeah.
It's something's got to be added.
It's like
to
saying
it.
coupon or something.
You got to add something to that. Coupon. And by the way, on the way here we went to 7-Eleven. Like I told you, those Twinkies. Mm-hmm. First of all, there's chocolate Twinkies out there that I never knew existed. Yeah.
And somehow you can hear Longo screaming in your ear not to do it.
You know what? Those days are over. I'm 50. I still got abs. And the guy's trying to, take another one. They're too. I go, dude, you want me to get diabetes? He's trying to push it on me. Anyway. It was pretty good.
I've never seen someone make a mess of Twinkies like you did, though. You ate them like you were taking little scoops at a time. I looked over and there was cream everywhere.
I went to take it out. It was stuck to the bottom. Yeah. And it kind of ripped apart, and then I was all in already. Yeah. So, all right, Spider-Man. Now, with this, we're not going to do the whole worst to best and all that, because I did that in the other ones with the X-Men movies and the Batman. I want to talk about the best. We got the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
Yep.
We got the Garfield, two of his movies, and then we have the Holland trilogy. Who I want to talk about is the best Spider-Man, who best played the role, who fits Spider-Man the best, and which is the best standalone movie. Let's go!
Get right into it.
Let's fucking go!
So, my history with Spider-Man.
Tell me.
I think the first Spider-Man movie is the first movie I could remember seeing in theaters.
Wow.
So that was like
2002.
It was I think 2002, 2001, right? So I would have been like 4 years old in 2002.
Nice.
And I remember my brother taking me. My brother's 12 years older than me, so he introduced me to everything I love in life.
That's beautiful.
And he would take me to the movies constantly. Every superhero movie we were there for. So the Tobey Maguire movies I have such a nostalgic love for. That being said, I think at this point, I think Tom Holland's the best Peter Parker Spider-Man. His journey in the MCU, everything they put his character through with Tony Stark, the relationship and all of that, he actually feels like he could be a kid in high school, and he also throws a little Queen's accent on the character, which I love and appreciate.
I thought Tom Holland was amazing. And also I want to talk about which one gives you the most feels, because with Spider-Man, I'm going to tell you, each one of them got a moment where you get a little misty-eyed, right?
Oh, yeah. No? Oh, yeah.
I mean, in each one of them. So I do agree, because you know why, as far as who's the best, who suits the role the best, they made Garfield, it's funny what they did with Andrew Garfield. They put a little spin on each one of them, except for the Tobey Maguire one. That was, I think, the as far as a standalone Spider-Man film. And again, there's a little nostalgia in there that might add to this, because when that came out, it was
where were you when that came out? Do you remember seeing that in theaters, that being a big deal?
100%, because before that came out, there was a long time not rumor, it was James Cameron was going to do it.
Yeah, with Leo.
And that 90s. Was very exciting. Yeah. And you got to understand, in 2002, we didn't have these big Avenger movies or anything. There was, what was there? X-Men, there was...
In 2002, you just had that.
Blade and X-Men.
Yeah.
The Batman movie.
And then you could revisit the Superman movies if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first two anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So back then, you didn't have too much. There was always the rumor of the hope of seeing Spider-Man on the big screen, or could they do it? And so then when it came out with Sam Raimi, I was a fan of the old what is it? Not Evil Dead. Evil Dead. Yeah. Evil Dead series, Army of Darkness. I was Army of Darkness fan. Ash. I love that whole thing. And so I thought that Sam Raimi, I got excited about, and he didn't let you down, man. It was the Spider-Man story, everything from Uncle Ben getting shot to him dealing with the powers. I love the way they did it. I love the way he shot it. And if you have a standalone Spider-Man movie, because you got to understand, when Tom Holland came in, he already came into the mix when it was going on, like in Civil War. So it was like, there wasn't a really, you didn't even see him, how he got bit by the spider and all that stuff. I mean, we knew the story. You've seen it how many times over, and you see some of his early goings when he's got the ski mask. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have a suit yet. Him even getting the suit from Tony Stark and all that way, it's not, it will, somebody could be lost a little bit if they're not following the whole Marvel, Avengers, the whole, it all syncs, the MCU.
Yeah.
If they were following the whole MCU, what is it called? The whole
the MCU.
The MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
If they're not following that, they could be a little lost. Like, and then with the Tobey Maguire one, that first one was the best origin story. Because even when Garfield did it, when they did it with the Amazing Spider-Man, they put a little twist on it. He was more of a skateboarding kid. Like, he was kind of cool.
He was a little cooler,
He was
for
a little
sure.
cooler.
Yeah.
And again, and then he put and there might be some truth to this, to the comics. You know better than me with Spider-Man. They made it a little different with the parents having a little mystery there. And
There was I didn't love that about like the dad having a history and stuff, and he had documents that Andrew had to go and find stuff. I think all three Spider-Man actors are actually really good in the role. They did do very different things with all three of them. But like Andrew's movies, I don't love. I think he's really good, but I don't love either movie. I think the first one's pretty okay, pretty good. The second one I think is real bad.
I thought that the Amazing Spider-Man, the one with Garfield movies, again, not bad. You can watch them. They're not awful at all. But and this is what's funny.
Hello, techies.
Ignore that.
This is what's very interesting about Andrew Garfield being I hate to say least favorite, because he's not horrible. He really had redemption in the last one, in No Way Home.
Yeah.
He might have been, and at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, when he catches her but she breaks her neck, and one, depressing as hell.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not a feel good type of movie there. And what's wild about that is it left you like, ugh, and totally redeems himself and the character and everything, and makes you love him in No Way Home.
He stole every scene he was in that movie.
Right?
Yeah.
And that he must have been so. It must have been personally. It must have been like, this is great for him.
He got a raw deal though, because those movies, the way that it worked is that Sony had the rights to Spider-Man, and then they were supposed to make a fourth Spider-Man with Sam Raimi, and it fell apart. And it was right about to happen. It was like they were about to start shooting. They had the whole cast and everything. And then the deal was, if Sony didn't make a movie in the right amount of time, that they would lose the rights back to Marvel. So they're like, we got to figure something out. So they just recast everything, and then it was right away from, they get Garfield in there, and then it's like, here, this is your new Spider-Man, and it was thrown upon everybody.
Yeah. It felt weird at the time too. I remember like going to the theater excited for The Amazing Spider-Man, but also being like, it feels a little sudden that we're going to redo this and we're going to...
It did feel soon.
Yeah.
How soon was it? After the
Amazing Spider-Man is 2012, I think.
And 2007 was part 3.
So 5 years later, you got a brand new, and you're doing not the full origin again, but kind of the origin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to the first. Let's start with the Sam Raimi series. Let's go to the first Spider-Man. So when that came out, now look, everyone, I'm going to take away half a star for one scene. Now you got to remember when this came out. I think you're going to know what I'm going to say. You might not. You might know it. There's certain lines that just give you a little cringe.
This movie is aged interestingly. I don't want to say it's aged poorly, because I don't think it's aged poorly, but when you watch the first Spider-Man now, there's a few lines that hit weird.
And by the way, that Jimmy Norton's in there. You know that.
Oh, yeah. He's in like a news clip. Doesn't he say something shitty about Spider-Man?
Oh, 100%. He basically is playing himself.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't like him. He stinks. So he basically was kind of like a Chip Chipperson construction worker. and he's shitting on Spider-Man. So it's basically Jimmy playing Jimmy.
I was gonna say that is so Jim Norton. Yeah.
There's a scene. Now this came out. Look, this came out right after 9/11. So there's
The Twin Towers were in the trailer.
They were in
and
the trailer.
I think the poster originally as well.
It was brutal. And so there's a scene at the end when he's about to get taken out by the fucking goblin, the Green Goblin, and I loved William Dafoe in that. By the way.
Amazing.
I mean,
Amazing.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. He was just
Oh, that's
one
pretty
second.
good. That's a pretty good impression.
I can't do it again. He was a bit of a schizo. Like he'd be 1 second, okay, then he'd have flashbacks. Oh man, William Dafoe was great in that. And he had Spider-Man, you know, he had him, you know, Spider-Man was holding up the cars together and he's about to get taken out, and then he gets hit with a bottle though, the Green Goblin. And then you really, as a guy from Long Island, New York, and you know, I hate when people, oh, you're from New York? You want some coffee? Oh yeah. I get it. I got an accent. Oh. So all of a sudden, somebody hits him with a bottle and they go, hey, you mess with Spidey, you mess with New York. Boom! Shut the fuck up! Oh, boom! Boom! No! Oh!
Now, how do we feel about it in Spider-Man 2? Because they do a lot of that in Spider-Man 2, but I feel like they do it much better in 2, where New York and its people are sort of a character in the movie, and they're constantly standing up. You get Joey Diaz in Spider-Man 2.
He was on the subway.
He's on the subway, steps up. If you want to get through him, you got to get through us.
That's that, you know, and he does jiu-jitsu.
They pass him up. He does. They say carefully he's a hero. You know,
his delivery on that was great, by the way. It shows you he is an underrated actor.
Oh yeah,
because
who's that? Joey Diaz.
Yeah. His dude, he's scared when he's saying that, but he's still, but he
like
means
takes
it.
a big gulp. Like
Probably scared because he's on 800 milligrams of fucking Death Stars.
He's on Ninja Stars. Yeah. But I feel like in Spider-Man 2, they take that maybe a little corny moment in the first one, but they do it a lot better where it's like the city banding together to protect their hero.
The mask was off. How many? There's no camera phones back then, was it?
Yeah, but they tell him, they're like, don't worry about it, Spider-Man. We got you. We're not saying shit.
Again, I smell bullshit. Those guys. Do you ever see now when there's ever a fight or anything? The New Yorkers coming together, they're all filming it. Somebody's getting attacked.
Yeah. There's not as much New York pride as there is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, that's a little, that's what you have to get the disbelief in. There's some corny moments in there, but the first two Spider-Man films, the second one just held up. And by the way, I like when they keep that original, like with that first Tobey Maguire movie, the Flash, like not the Flash, Flash Thompson, the bully.
Yeah.
Let's make the bully, like I know, like in the Tom Holland movies, this is one of the problems I had with it. Peter Parker could have kicked the shit out of Flash Thompson, that fucking little dweeb. Hey, Penis Parker, yeah, you gonna go to the party tonight? Hey, dude. I mean, Tom Holland could smack that guy around, right?
Tom Holland could, but can Peter Parker? Does Peter Parker have that confidence?
Yes, because that guy there was nothing threatening about him. He's more of like a cyber bully.
He is, yeah.
So I guess that's with this generation, I guess. But they
woke Peter Parker.
Oh, fucking no, woke Flash Thompson. I mean, he's just fucking get out of here. So I wasn't a big fan of that. I want the bully to be that dumb jock that's going to throw you in a locker and give you a wedgie. Mm-hmm. That's what the kid does. That's the kid doesn't want to be embarrassed in school. So I love that. I love when he's in the first one when he's watching the punch go past him in slow motion and he's going back, and it was great. James Franco as the best friend,
so good. Harry, yeah.
I mean, they really nailed it out of the park.
I love the wrestling scene. I'm such a wrestling fan that seeing Macho Man Randy Savage as Bonesaw.
Dude, he always looks like he's about to pop, that guy.
Oh, yeah. In 2001, 2, he was just about to pop, I think.
About to pop. Did he die, Randy?
He did, yeah.
What a shame.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw! No, he was great.
He'll be immortalized in that movie forever. Obviously, his wrestling career immortalized him, but whenever someone watches Spider-Man, they're going to be thinking of Randy Savage for a moment.
You know, I loved it. I loved the whole thing. Is he on the wall?
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
We're all savages.
Man. Yeah. I like that. And I like that. You know what's funny, Robbie? He removed it, Christian, but, you know, he has a thing on here that says, you know, show some class when he wants people to subscribe. It's on the floor now. Because the way I sit, was it was behind me.
You got no class.
Well, you know what it was? I was covering the C, so it says, show some ass.
Yeah.
It depends on who's in the studio.
I wanted to keep it because I'm an ass man. Yeah. And, Christian, and, I said, just leave it. But anyway, so the second one, the follow-up, was a great movie.
Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. And the way Sam Raimi shot that surgery scene where they're putting the claws. It's like a horror movie.
It reminds me of like an Evil Dead.
Yes, the doctors are screaming. You see the claws, like the claws have the mind of their own, and you feel that.
You have to have a powerful like villain.
Yeah.
Now William Dafoe was great. Who's going to follow him up? I mean, he was fantastic.
I think Doc Ock is like as good.
Oh no!
As Green
Yes.
Goblin.
Oh, no,
like the 1-2 punch in those movies, unbelievable.
And the fight scenes, the way they made him work, the whole and again, even like with William Dafoe, there's some you kind of didn't hate him. Like there's parts of him you're like, oh, he's not that bad a guy. Oh, wait a minute, he's a fucking psycho.
Especially by the end, they're doing a little bit of the Empire Strikes Back ending. They're doing a little bit of that. I still see light in you, and you could still redeem yourself.
And then the Godspeed Spider-Man. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, man.
Also, shout out the actress that played Aunt May in those movies.
Oh, she was great.
Still alive, just turned 98 like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Wow.
They should bring her back in one of these multiverse movies.
Dude, she outlasted Marissa Tomei.
She did.
You know what I mean? So, and even the way he shot it, like some of the special effects may not hold up as much, but some of
a lot of them do.
A lot of them do. I think, listen, take away another half a star for Macy Barber. I mean, come on. What, she have a Sony deal at the time?
Macy Barber?
Remember? She's singing on the floats out there.
Gray.
Macy who?
I was like,
who the fuck's Macy Barber?
Like, she's in the UFC. I was like, what are you talking about? Macy Barber's like my age.
For UFC talk, listen to UFC Unfiltered every Tuesday and Thursday.
Where did Matt Sarah's mind just go? His multiverses just got crossed.
I just got multi, but Macy Barber is a great fighter. By the way.
She is, yeah.
Not great in the Spider-Man films.
She could be a future champ. They're gonna go back to this episode. Now.
Yeah.
Some
of those shots though, where Sam Raimi will zoom in on Spider-Man's eye, and you see the reflection of Doc Ock coming in the lens.
Great.
And then they go back. It's like such a Raimi thing, but he was so perfect for those movies, not making them cookie cutter at the time. They were genuinely stylistic and like pushing some boundaries, I think.
You know what? What happened? What happened with Spider-Man 3? First of all,
studio.
Yeah, I think a lot of studio meddling. I think I don't think Sam Raimi wanted Venom to be the villain. And I think the studio was like, hey, Venom's going to be the villain, dude.
First of all, too much. I mean, the Sandman.
It's a lot of cramming,
Venom, a lot of cramming, and they weren't. Well, I wasn't crazy about Venom in it.
I didn't love Venom in it. The Sandman might be more memorable for me than Venom in it. The Sandman scene in the beginning is pretty great.
Sandman Sandman's awesome, but it doesn't. It's not that it brings you out of it, but it's almost. It's hard to say. It sounds weird to say over the top in a Spider-Man movie.
But the first two, in this universe, you could buy it. It's a lot of gadgets.
It's a lot of gadgets. Exactly. Like, all right. And then a little psychosis when he was getting doped up, William Dafoe. And you know what I mean? So, yes, you could see how that works out. The other guy falls into the thing, and next thing you know, he's a big sandstorm and stuff. It's like, it looks cool.
That CG actually holds up pretty well as well in that movie.
It was amazing as far as that.
Good casting. Thomas Hayden Church is great in that role.
There's fun stuff in there. Let's talk about the bipolar Spider-Man. Let's talk about Tobey Maguire with a little, what is he? Get a little bit of a
little goth, a little emo. It was good that you brought me on for this, so we could go into the pop punk Robbie moment of this. Does his little dance.
When he's walking down the street and he's just, it's almost like a John Travolta Spider-Man thing going on, And what about him snapping at the landlord and fucking, if you want your rent, fix the door type of thing. And he's, wow, hey, Tobey.
Isn't he being mean to the daughter as well, the landlord's daughter?
And she's
being
a dick to her. And she's even like, that wasn't cool. And then the guy's like, he must be under a lot of stress. He's a good boy. So I loved him, it was kind of odd, you know what it was? It was a letdown compared to the first two.
Yes. Absolutely. It was a lot of trying to fit 100 things in this movie where they probably should have just focused on one of the villains. And also, when you're trying to do Venom, people have crazy expectations from the comics and the black suit Spider-Man. And I mean, even the poster for Spider-Man 3, him in that black suit in the rain is like awesome. And then it was just kind of,
What did you think of the, not to get off topic, but the Tom Hardy Venoms?
I'm not the biggest fan.
Not the biggest fan.
No, the first one I think is okay. The second one, oh my God. I really dislike the second
I
one.
forgot it pretty much. But you know what it is with the Tom Hardy, with the Venoms? I really like Tom Hardy a lot.
So do I.
And I think he's good as the Eddie Brock. But I was never really a Venom guy, so I don't really give that much of a shit about it.
Surprises me a little. I feel like that sort of your era Venom was so big in the 90s, early 2000s
Is that
too.
when he came out? Yeah.
It's Tom McFarlane, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that's when he came out, but that's definitely when he was like most popular.
You're right. It was the 90s.
Right?
Yeah.
I was just so into like the X-Men. I was just an X-Men guy.
Were you reading X-Men comics?
Oh, that
Jim Lee style and all that?
100%. The Marauders, the one that really got me into it is the what's the one where they're killing everybody in the suit? The Mutant Massacre. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
They cover that in X-Men 97. So
Yeah, did you watch X-Men 97?
No, I didn't
Oh,
watch
no,
it.
I did watch the X-Men 90s. I loved
So
it.
good.
They covered that.
Yeah.
They went right back to the comics with that.
Yeah. Genosha.
Yeah. I love that series. And what's weird about me loving that series is I didn't like the original when it came out. I wasn't really the animation kind of. They upped the animation for this new one.
Yeah, they made it look a lot nicer.
And I don't know, something about the animation took me out of that first one, and I know why. Because they originally did one, and it was they did an Australian accent for Wolverine. It was called I forgot what it was called, but it was a pilot episode for it, and I thought the animation was amazing.
That's a great pull, Matt Sarah.
What's that?
That they did the original pilot. And then the
great.
X-Men arcade game has the designs from that original pilot, not the show.
It was the animation was amazing in it. And then when the other one came out, I heard the story was great, but the animation took me out of it.
They did a really good job of just like covering things the comics did. They were able to just kind of translate it to a cartoon.
That's what I heard.
The Dark Phoenix saga was really good in that. Days of Future Past was really good in that.
And you were a young kid when that came out.
I wasn't alive. It was 92.
Sometimes
I was born in 98.
50.
Yeah.
I was going to call this man-child at one point because I forget that I'm 50 years old. So when that came out, the animation. So you saw that, you revisited it?
Yeah, because my older brother. So that's the thing. He's 12 years older than me. He was determined to show me all the stuff he loved when he was a kid. So it was X-Men, Batman the Animated Series, all of his 90s
He was your
cartoons.
Obi-Wan in the art.
Very much so, yes.
That's wild. Yeah, my older brother got me into it too, my father. And I'm glad they did because, I don't know, it's something that stuck with me. Oh, look at me now. Look at me now.
Look at the two of us. We're doing nerd podcast as a living. It's the best.
It is. It's a fucking phenomenal way to make a living. That and doing some jiu-jitsu. Are you doing any training, Robbie?
No, I did jiu-jitsu for a little bit.
Doing that. Why not?
I kept getting hurt. I got arthritis, dude. I'm 26 years old, and not only am I an old soul, I got old bones.
I got something for arthritis. But hey, I'm trying to get something's wrong with my neck here. Someone's saying they're coming into. I'm not going to bring up listen to me. I got to give him a little bit of guilt trip.
That's fair.
Because he's I got because a week ago I got to listen, man. Next week I'm there. If I'm not there, come to my house. Yeah, Christian. He's going to train. His wife wants him to train.
Yeah.
Everybody.
His kids want him to train. Everybody
I
wants him. He
enjoyed
wants
doing
to
it.
train.
I would go to Henzo's and take classes there, and I had fun doing it. But my cardio is so bad, I literally would be throwing up in the trash
This
can
is the
from a
thing.
class, and then people would come up
and
to
you're
me.
26.
They come up and they go, "Hey, Robbie, can I get a picture?" I'm like, "Let me throw up real quick."
Listen,
okay.
I've been around for a while. I don't know. I play to my strengths. I can't do a lot of shit. I can hardly change a light bulb. Okay. If there's something that needs to be hung up at my house, my wife does all that. I swear, I could be considered unmanly if I wasn't such a fucking savage. But my point was, what the fuck was my point?
Doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
Jiu-jitsu.
It does matter, you fuck.
Sorry, put you back in the hole.
Trying to get out.
He knows he's trying to get me back to Spider-Man. So Christian, he's going to come down.
Yeah.
And what I know how to do is bring guys up properly. He's not going to be thrown up.
You're going to be
He's not
his
gonna be
own
choking.
Obi-Wan.
I'll be his fucking Qui-Gon Jinn, man.
Not my soul.
Yeah, I'll definitely not be his poor Soul. Guy got a bad rap.
Sure did.
And not only did they kill Soul, they killed his reputation.
They did. They
killed
pinned
his
everything on him. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I kind of like that though. That I was kind of like, all right, I'm with that.
You know who's not going
Seems
to want
fucked up to do,
You
but-
know who's not going to sell a lot of action figures? The green
green lady.
The green lady.
Vernestra.
Her Padawan That guy.
Oh yeah, the accountant.
He's not. No one wants to be him for
Yeah, it looks
Halloween.
like accountant.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway. So listen. So Christian will be coming down soon, and
will
when
be.
you do,
Yes.
you'll be putting the moves on me. I'll have you do a little flow where you'll be like, "Ooh, that feels like a little something, but nothing crazy." Baby steps. You're gonna crawl. You're gonna walk, and you get. Anyway, we're back.
I'll be dead in 3 months.
I'll see you there within 3 weeks. And by the way, early happy birthday to you, buddy.
Is your birthday coming up?
Well, 2 days ago.
Oh fuck! Then
Belated
wait, happy birthday.
Thank you.
In fairness,
Early for next year.
in fairness, he's having a little.
I'm having a little thing this week, so this weekend. So he was
Fair enough.
not too far off.
I was invited.
Yes.
I'm happy. Thank you so much. All right, look. So yeah, Spider-Man 3 dropped the ball. So that was the Tobey Maguire series. Then we got the Garfield series. I mean, again, they made him more of like a punk rocker. It was not as good as, definitely not as there. Those first two are not nearly as good as the other two.
Did you think he captured the essence, though, what Spider-Man was in the comics? Like, I agree that the movie's not as part, but what he was, cracking jokes and doing all that
That
stuff.
I was gonna say, the webbing a enemy up and then joking with them the entire time. He probably did better than any of the
and
Spider-Man.
designing them himself.
Yes, they brought in the mechanical web shooters.
Yeah, because he's a mutant in the first one.
That was
Raimi.
James Cameron thing, I believe.
Was it?
I believe it was part of James Cameron's script that he would have the organic webs coming out of his wrist.
Yeah.
And there was also a scene in the James Cameron one that was very much like an allegory for jerking off and your mom walking in on it, where it's like Aunt May's knocking on the door and he's like, 1 second, and he's shooting webs everywhere and stuff. Like, there was a lot of stuff like that in the Cameron script.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, with the Cameron script.
In that was James Cameron's original script. There was like sex scenes in it between him and MJ. There's a lot of stuff you could read about it.
Really?
Yeah. And they were thinking Leo for Spidey, Arnold Schwarzenegger for Doc Ock, allegedly.
Back in it's like late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arnold's. Well, that make.
Because Cameron had just done Terminator 2 with him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Last time I saw him as a scientist, it was Mr. Freeze,
Yeah.
Stop it.
and that was
Everybody
rough.
chill out. Come on.
Ooh, with that one we hardly.
I loved that movie as a kid.
You know
when I
what?
was 4 years old, there was nothing better.
Because you were designed. That's who it was designed for.
When we did the review, I said, "Look, man, it's like ice capades. You take a kid, at that age,
Yes.
you say, there's Batman running around.
Batman's got ice skates and he's playing hockey with a diamond.
And it's so funny when I made that comparison. I didn't even forgot that was in the movie. They had him on fucking ice capades and shit. Yeah, that was a rough one to revisit.
The one thing that I feel like the Andrew Garfield movies did pretty well was the suit designs, specifically in the second one, when they do the big eyes, the kind of the Todd McFarlane eyes. The web swinging sequences, all really, really well done. When you see him going through New York, that's one thing that I love the Tom Holland trilogy and all the Tom Holland movies, but you lose a little bit of the New York feel with him, that he hasn't really had a true New York movie. He had a multiverse movie. Homecoming was a lot of Queens, D.C. Far From Home was obviously a field trip movie.
Yeah. Far From Home felt like an 80s coming of an age movie.
Yeah.
Like,
John Hughes inspired, for sure.
John Hughes inspired. That's how I felt when I was watching like a 16 Candles Breakfast Club type of. There was some kind of vibe in there of the kid. He's on the plane on the field trip and he's trying to sit next to the girl, MJ, the girl, and then next thing you know, the good-looking kid that came back from the blip is fucking sitting next to her. And it's all that. It felt like you were watching a teenage movie of a kid trying to get the girl.
And I loved the take on Mysterio. The fact that they were able to put him in the fishbowl and not make it look goofy and silly. It was like, oh, he's a CGI artist with drones, and they explained it.
They did explain it, and in him as a kid, like you see his growth where he was kind of looking for another mentor. Tony Stark is dead, and now he's this Mysterio guy, and he's buying all his bullshit. And the best scene, one of the funniest scenes is when he leaves the bar after a nice talk with them, and everybody's in on it.
So good.
They're like, we got it. They're partying.
When was the last time you guys rewatched that one, though?
Last night.
I rewatched it not too long ago. I feel like this movie, maybe this is what you're about to bring up, I feel like it has like, people have turned on it a little bit.
I actually feel the opposite. I like it more and more.
Oh, really?
But the point I was going to make about it was that, do you notice that in the very beginning of the movie, that when he's walking around in wherever they are in the beginning, in the background,
You start to see him.
Gyllenhaal's on the phone.
Yeah.
He's on the phone in the background watching.
There's
If you
a
look-
few like Easter eggs where
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal has been watching him on the whole trip.
Yeah, so you can go back and watch, and you can see Mysterio kind of scouting him out.
Yeah.
you
That's-
see him in the
holy
background
fuck.
as like an extra and stuff. It's
But
almost-
have you seen the stuff I'm talking about on Twitter specifically? I've seen so many people that are like, yeah, they really like dropped the bag with Far From Home. I think it's great. I
like
still
Far
can
From
go
Home.
back and
Yeah,
rewatch
me
it and
too.
have a great time with
too.
it.
I never heard any negative shit about it.
I feel like
I've
people
seen
say
this-
that about that and No Way Home.
Yeah, I think what they
And
say with
that
No Way
one-
Home is that they say that it relied on the nostalgia
Yes.
of the other two, which
Feels
I
more
can
like a
understand.
spectacle than a
Yeah,
movie.
I understand the argument, but I don't agree with it. But I understand the argument.
I still have fun with it on rewatches.
They pulled it off. Though.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
one thing if they brought them all together and their chemistry, the three Spider-Mans, was fucking great.
Awesome.
And each one of them held their weight, and Garfield had his shining moment.
Yeah.
Come on, you didn't get a little like, oh man, when he catched her
Oh,
at
it's
the
the
end.
best. Yeah,
I might get emotional now. That was great.
It also redeemed Garfield in general. The fact
Yeah.
that because everyone loved him as Spider-Man, but his movies were like just looking, but he stood out in that movie.
And it felt like that revitalized people wanting him back.
100%.
Now everyone is like, hey, how can Sony figure out a way to bring him? People don't care if he's in the Venom universe. People don't care if he's in the MCU. I think people would prefer the MCU, but people just want to see him as Peter Parker again.
Sony dropped the ball though, because Sony should have had, after that movie did as well as it did. The first movie they do after that is whatever, it's Madam Web
Madam
and all this
Web,
other
yeah.
stuff. They should have, the second you sign those guys up, you make a Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movie, unless
Yes.
it's in the contract that you can't. But
Well, it's probably the same thing that you brought up before about their contract, where they gotta put out Spider-Man related movies, one per however many years, to make sure they keep that license. They're just like cranking out Madam Webs and Kraven the Hunters, and
right.
Craven the Hunter's got some potential, no?
The last trailer looked better than it should have. I
it
think.
worries me just because it's made by that studio,
Right.
and they're making him. He's like, I was bit by a radioactive lion, and it's like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah, like
Did you say that?
like he doesn't say that, but it's
it's-
basically like he was bitten by a lion and he has lion powers. It's like you don't need to make everyone in the universe bitten by a radioactive whatever they are.
Can I just, my ADD's kicking in, and I seen a trailer the other day, and I told you I seen this trailer. And it is I'm the most excited about this upcoming Marvel movie than I am about probably any other movie coming out. Because I'm such a fan of the James Gunn Suicide Squad. When I saw the trailer for the, what is it?
Thunderbolts.
The
Yeah.
Thunderbolts. First of all, the Pixies. Where is my mind? I like that from Observe and Report back in
Fight
the
Club
day.
too.
Yeah,
It was that?
Fight Club.
the ending
That's
of
right,
Fight
like
Club.
Fight Club.
Yes, Fight Club. It fit, and in that scene when they bring all the assassins together from what is it, not the Patriot, is
Which one?
what's the
John Walker.
Yeah.
John Walker, is that the Patriot? Is he called the Patriot? What's he called?
Oh
I think
shit.
they called him Captain America.
No, there was something else. There is
then-
something else, but I don't remember
yeah.
what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is something else.
It's the slip of my
Yeah.
but I got So they have him.
He's a good actor.
They have
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah.
Black Widow's sister there.
Yep.
You know,
Yelena.
and then they have the one who was in the Wasp, the disappearing
Ghost.
Ghost. And then Bob, who the fuck Bob is, I don't know yet.
It's Bob again from Top Gun. He was Bob in Top Gun.
He
It
was,
Bob
yeah.
again in this too.
He's so when they bring
typecast,
them
yeah.
all together,
Bob.
they bring them all together to take them out, and you know, it looks like the Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, you know.
Yeah.
And I love the line with Julia
Louis Dreyfus. Yeah.
What is it?
Julia Louis Dreyfus.
Dreyfus. I like her as I like when she's like, you it's something along the lines of, you think that there's good people and there's bad people. Well, there's bad people and then there's worse people. Am I fucking that up?
No, it's
I think
close.
that was pretty close.
It was
yeah.
pretty close.
yeah.
I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm in on
I
that, too.
like it. I just thought that I liked it. Bucky's involved in it, and it seems like the Marvel's Suicide Squad. Exactly. That's the best way I could put it. And I think they're going to hit it out of the park. From what I've seen with the trailer, I think it looks money.
I think it looks really good too. Like the cinematography on the trailer, it looked like, I don't want to say like a step above a normal Marvel thing, but it did almost. There's that hallway shot. There was the shot of Bucky on the bike and everything. A lot of people convinced that Bucky is somehow going to be the Winter Soldier as well, because they noticed he's using his mechanical arm a lot in the trailer. And when he's Bucky, when he's not brainwashed, he's usually using this other arm.
Oh, so you're saying he's shit.
Why he might be like chasing him at the end of that.
Something
trilogy.
like that, yeah.
When is that coming out?
Is that coming out the same month as Superman?
No, what, Captain America?
Or Superman is July
Superman
next
is
year,
July.
right?
They're both coming out in the same month. It's,
And Fantastic Four is July.
oh wait, so maybe no. You know
Thunderbolts
what?
has to be
Thunderbolts is
before.
May. Thunderbolts is
May,
May.
yeah.
Thunderbolts is May. And then
July,
you're
next
right,
July is going to be
Fantastic Four.
crazy,
Yeah,
though.
it is. 2025 is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Why? What are you saying that for? Tell
There's
me.
just so many superhero movies coming
In
out in
general.
a short amount of time.
It's
Really?
just, yeah, because everything from the strike was
Yeah.
pushed into 2025. So you've got from January on, you just had so much
Mandalorian
stuff.
and Grogu, right?
That's
Or-
2026.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully that makes a comeback. I love the first two Mandalorians.
yeah.
Love them. Hey, speaking of the Tom Holland movies, there, Happy,
Love Happy.
Yeah, I do too. Till he got sappy. What about when he starts hooking up? I thought that was funny. He's hooking up with the ant,
Man, that's great.
and then in No Way Home, he's kicked to the curb. And I had flashbacks of fucking Swing. You ever see Swingers?
Yeah.
Of course.
He's all of a sudden he's pathetic again. He's I feel like he's back in that role when he's leaving the message on the answering machine, all awkward. He's becoming Slash. He's almost a stalker. Listen,
Well,
get on Tinder. Get out there, Happy.
He's not going to be stalking her anymore.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, she's gone. That was when we talked. Yeah, that was up. That one got you in the feels.
That one got you in the field.
That one
big
got
time.
you. First of all, Tom Holland might have got you twice. He got you with Tony Stark. Dude, come on, man.
He gets you twice with Tony Stark because you get the moment where he says, "I don't feel so good," and you're like, "Oh, what do you mean?" It fades away in his arms, and then the reunion in Endgame where they hug each other and they
great.
have that moment. Like, I get a lot of people have an issue with his Spider-Man being leveled up too fast. They're like, he's basically just been given all these gizmos and gadgets. Tony Stark has given him everything. Spider-Man is a character that's supposed to struggle and be put down in the dirt and have to get up every time. He always gets up.
Yeah.
He hasn't really struggled that much. I feel like they did such a good job with basically treating his entire trilogy and scenes in the Avengers movies as his origin story, where they, by the end of No Way Home, put him in that spot where he's got a shitty apartment in New York, nobody knows him, he doesn't have Tony Stark's gadgets, and I wouldn't trade that for not having the Tony Stark moments.
He's got so much loss. He's got so much loss now, and then that's the thing that there's an argument now, Matt. I don't know if you knew this also. That apparently the rumor is Marvel and Sony were kind of going back and forth on what this new movie Spider-Man 4 should be with Tom Holland. Kevin Feige and Marvel, they want more of the grounded Queens Spider-Man.
Hell's Kitchen, Queens,
let
whatever.
him have that movie that he hasn't had yet. And Sony, of course, wants to stick him in the multiverse, put Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in the movie again. I think that's a mistake. I think they should go back grounded.
I think so too. I would love if the next Spider-Man movie was him and Daredevil and Punisher taking on Kingpin. Like, oh my God, that sounds amazing.
I like Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. And I liked his little scene in No Way Home. Them just throwing that in there and being like, hey, we're going to give you Daredevil, but to hold you over, here's a quick scene of Matt Murdock.
And that's great when he catches the thing. When he
Catches the brick. How'd you
Yeah.
do that? He says, I'm a really good lawyer.
I like that they kept it. They chose to keep him on. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to see when is that coming out. His next Daredevil.
Not
series.
too long from
year.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Daredevil.
Probably earlier next year, I would assume.
I think that. Yeah, I'm not sure
Because they filmed it a while ago.
Well, they reshot it. That's why it's coming out. They reshot
right.
a lot of it.
I tried to go, because they were shooting in New York, I tried to go see some of the set, and I never went at the right time.
Oh,
But I
really?
actually have a horror story about No Way Home.
Tell me.
I love these movies. I love Spider-Man, raised on Spider-Man, of course.
Okay.
And this is the one where they didn't outright say it, but it was the worst kept secret in the world that the Spider-Men are going to be reuniting in this movie. We all
Yeah.
kind of saw that coming
Yeah,
when the
we got the
villains were
memo
brought
on
in. I'm so excited for this movie. I can't wait. Starting to feel a little sick the week of. The night before it comes out, I test positive for COVID.
Oh no.
And I'm like, no, I'm going to miss the premiere. Thank God, maybe Marvel will come strike me down when I say this. It had come out in the UK, I think, a day before, and I had a friend scour the internet for the worst bootleg you've ever seen. And on opening night, I made myself popcorn, I turned the lights out, and I had a solo Spider-Man bootleg opening night. It felt like trying to watch like a WWE pay-per-view illegally back in the day when you could barely make out what's happening, but you could hear like crowds cheering and you're like, I think we're in.
When I was young, it was like that with like
the
the
Zero.
porno channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The
I
black
see a
box.
movie, I think.
So I
Yeah.
eventually had to watch it like that the first time, and then I went and saw, I think, twice in theaters after that. I'm one of those guys. I love going back to the theaters to see movies,
Yeah.
a couple times during their run if I really love them. And I really did love that. Like, there's so many scenes when the Spider-Men reunite for the first time, when they talk to Tom Holland and try to make him feel a little bit better after Aunt May dies. Like, that is a fucking scene right there. It's so good. And the shot of the three of them in their suits doing the superhero Spider-Man pose, it's just like this stuff you never thought could happen.
They all pulled it off. Some people were saying that Tobey looked a little old. I don't know. I thought he looked all right.
He looked a little old, but he is a little old,
is
you
a
know?
little
Kind
old.
of the point.
Yeah.
And that's when I go back to like my favorite actor to play him, even though Garfield was great in No Way Home. I like Tom Holland because if you put Tobey Maguire in those MCU movies, that's when you might notice the age a little bit. You know what I mean? Even when he first.
Yeah, I mean, you notice it a little bit in the first. I didn't as a kid, but watching it back, it's like everyone in this high school is 30.
Yeah, and because they all are, it'll hold together. But if you put them with the, Thor and the rest of the guys, it'd be like, yo, Spider-Man, you're in the same grade, motherfucker. No, yeah. So that
All the recent kids they did a good job with like Zendaya. You could buy as, especially in like Homecoming when they're actually in high school. We can't not mention how good Michael Keaton is as the Vulture.
I was just watching that the other day. I love it.
Oh my God.
First of all, Michael Keaton's great.
The twist in that movie when he opens the door when he goes to pick up his date for prom, and Michael Keaton opens that door, and then they have the scene in the rearview mirror on the way where
When
he's like, "I know,
yeah.
so good."
There's some anxiety there, and he was great. I like the scene when the Shocker, the guy who was the original Shocker, was going against the grain a little bit, and then he's like, you're fired. I'm sick of this shit. He's like, all right, you really could afford me out there? What I know? He's like, you know what? He's like, is that ready? He's like, he's like, yeah. He goes, yeah. And then he gets the fucking laser gun. He goes, no, I really can't afford that. Boom, fries him.
Yeah.
And he goes to the guy. Michael Keaton's great. He goes to him. He goes, I thought that was the anti-gravity gun. And he goes, no, man, that's over there. And then and you know what? He wasn't too broken up about it, but he was. But you see, that's another villain that you could kind of relate to. In the beginning, it starts off with him and his cleanup crew. They got to deal with the city. They got families. He bought all these new trucks to get rid of all this.
I love that too.
That was
Like
great.
dealing with the fallout of the Avengers. Such a cool way to open that movie.
Great way to open it.
And a good way to explain his crazy tech. It's alien tech.
Exactly. And he looked like a hardworking guy. You could see, all right, he got screwed over.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what? If the world's changing, we're changing with it. You know? It was great. It was great. And it was interesting.
He's like working for his family the whole time. He's just like, I got to put food on the table.
And
he's doing some bad shit.
At
to
any
be fair.
cost. At any cost, yeah. And so yeah, nobody's gonna. I like that first scene when he's they're getting the ATM, and he goes, "Oh, it's the Avengers." They're wearing the cheap masks.
Yeah.
So I thought again. We talked about Andrew Garfield with the quick witty lines. I think Tom Holland nails that all over the place. I mean, he's just like, "Oh, the Avengers." And then when he's like, wow, this feels weird, he hits him with the anti-gravity gun.
Yeah.
And he's stuck. I mean, I thought that whole thing worked out.
The way Queens treats him in that movie is great too, where there's the people that love him, and there's the people that see him and they're like, oh, do a backflip.
Oh,
He's
that guy's
"All
voice.
right,
That guy's voice was great.
Yeah, he just does the
He had
backflip
like a
and
funny
shit.
voice. He's like, "Hey, do a flip, yay!" It's fucking the guy's
The
so
bodega, them bringing bodegas into Spider-Man's life, and the bodega cat and all that. It just feels right.
Even the guy originally whose store that got blown up when he's making a joke about his aunt. Then he said something about his what was it, his niece or something like that. And then he's about to take the sandwich away. Everything worked. It worked, and I thought Tom Holland he hit it out of the park. He hit it out of the park on every level because he got you, he got you laughing, he got you crying. I mean, what else besides the original? Like again, you have to follow the MCU timeline to really get in there. He didn't have that origin story, so to speak, like Tobey Maguire did. Besides that, as a standalone, who's the best Spider-Man? I'd say Tom Holland.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about his Spider-Man is how much he references pop culture. And, in Civil War, he's talking about swinging around the AT-AT to take it down. And when he's talking about Giant Man, he's bringing up Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, he's bringing up Alien. And he's just making these movie references to the guys that he's like, have you ever heard of this really old movie called Empire Strikes Back? Shit like that to Tony Stark. And he's just
it's so funny, man.
I just reread Secret Wars, the actual comic Secret Wars from the 80s.
Oh, that's one of the... Now, look, talk about age. I was probably like 13, 12, 14 when that came out. So that's what got me in.
Yeah.
I was involved with that. Like, all right, that's the X-Men. Then they're bringing the Avengers in. That's Fantastic Four. And they're fighting this Beyonder. Dude, I'm right there with you,
I
Robbie.
opened that book, and when you buy it in graphic novel form, they give you a couple panels on how you got there. Before you even start reading Secret Wars, it's like, hey, in Spider-Man 1 whatever, here's him getting to Central Park and being transported to Battle World.
Yeah.
And one of the first things Spider-Man says in the book is he sees this big spaceship in Central Park, and he goes, that looks like something out of a George Lucas production. I was like, oh shit, in the 80s, Peter Parker was making Star Wars jokes and references, and they brought that into these movies, which I love. It makes them feel relatable. It makes them feel like us.
I think that's funny that you just... Because when people talk about Secret Wars, there was an updated version of it. But
yeah, Hickman did a recent one.
When I think of Secret Wars, I think of the one you just mentioned. So, good. Robbie, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you are here. And it's not... And I like that shirt, by the way.
Thank you. So this is not Peter Parker. This is Miles Morales on my shirt. We haven't even talked about the Into the Spider-Verse movies. I didn't know if we were going to touch on those today, but I love both of them.
Especially the first one. I like the second one also.
I like the first one better.
The first one was just amazing. From the Post Malone, the fucking...
I was going to say all the music. The needle drops, dropping Biggie in the middle of it.
And his uncle and...
the Prowler's great, yeah.
The Prowler was great. His uncle was cool. But
Kingpin's great. Kingpin has one of the funniest lines in any Spider-Man movie in the beginning of that.
Tell me.
Where Miles sees Peter Parker dying, and Peter Parker kind of gives him this motivating speech and is like, you gotta go get the thingamajig, whatever. And he leaves, and there's a quick noise, and Kingpin just looks up and goes, kill that guy. He doesn't even hesitate. He just says, kill that guy. And it cracks me up every single time.
That was such an amazing movie. And... It was like flawless.
Took everyone by surprise, I think, too. Everyone was kind of like, they're doing a cartoon Spider-Man and they're putting it in theaters? Like, all right, cool. I guess I'm there for it. And then it was amazing. Like you said, flawless. The scene where he takes the leap for the first time and you see him diving down and he's got the What's Up Danger playing.
Oh, great. That whole soundtrack is great.
So good, yeah.
Yeah,
and then the second one, I didn't think it was as good as the first, but I thought it was still tremendous and left you with such a good cliffhanger.
When is the next one coming out? Because that did leave you.
It keeps getting pushed back.
Idea.
It keeps getting pushed back because of the animators, and they have a lot of work that they're doing right now.
And I think they sort of caught some heat on the last one for maybe not giving the animators enough time or resources.
Overworking them.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know any of that.
So they're taking it slow, and they're basically like, you'll get it when you get it. Yeah. But if they nail the third one, it could go down as one of the best comic book trilogies out there.
Hey man, I'm not arguing that. I mean the first two were amazing, and it did leave you on that. And by the way, I love the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man.
Spider Noir. So they're they're doing a series with him right now.
No, I didn't know
live
that.
Action Spider-Man Noir, and he's playing him.
A what?
A live action?
Wait, what?
Live,
Really?
and there's photos from the set that just came out maybe yesterday or the day
Did you
before.
find that?
Yeah,
He doesn't have the mask on in the photos, but he's got the trench coat on.
Is this
and everything.
legit, Robbie Fox?
I'm gonna look.
I promise you.
You dropping knowledge on
I
this?
believe Amazon was the streaming
is
service to get the
wild.
rights to it.
Wait. So wait a second. He's gonna do a live action. I thought I heard a cartoon something. He's gonna do a live action with this shit.
He's gonna be Spider-Man Noir. I wonder if they have to do it in black and white, right? You can't do it.
Now who's involved with this? Because
I don't know. Actually,
listen.
There he is. Yes, that's the picture I saw.
What? Get the fuck out. Now,
Also, I just watched Long Legs last night.
What's
Yeah.
Long
Did you
Legs?
like it?
I did. I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I don't like the end.
Yeah.
What the hell's Long
Yeah, it got a
Legs?
little too
It's a horror.
fantastical.
It's a horror movie, but I didn't realize that it was Nicolas Cage in that movie for about an hour into it.
Him being Nicolas Cage, almost me knowing it was Nicolas Cage, almost took me out of the movie every time he was on screen. Where I was like, "Oh, Nicolas Cage," but he was great in it.
I had no idea they were doing it.
This is wild. What's it gonna be called? Do you know?
I think it's just called Spider-Man Noir,
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, that is interesting.
and he hasn't done much TV, but he had a quote recently where he said his son told him, listen, I know you're not much of a TV guy, but you got to watch Breaking Bad. And Nicolas Cage sat down and start to finish watched Breaking Bad. And he was so blown away, he said he doesn't even really want to do movies anymore. He's like, I just want to like really sink my teeth into a good TV series. I'm hoping this is the TV series he's talking about.
And you don't know what you're going to get with Nicolas Cage because sometimes he's fucking phenomenal. And there's other times when he makes interesting choices. So, you know.
That was a really nice way of saying that.
I mean,
I'm a big Nicolas Cage guy, but I understand some people do think he's over the top.
Man, you ever see Raising Arizona?
I actually haven't. That's like one of the Nicolas Cage movies I haven't seen.
I shouldn't ask you. You had to see that.
I've seen it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I like Raising Arizona is one of the best Coen brother movies, I think.
You should see that, Robbie.
Yeah,
really good.
I think
it has been on my list for a while.
It's wacky, man. It's wacky, but Nicolas Cage is great in that. And so is Helen. That's not Helen Hunt.
Yeah. No, Helen Hunt. No. It's oh my
What's her
god.
name? She was great in it.
Oh my gosh, driving me. Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter. And John Goodman's in that. That's a
I
good
love
movie.
John Goodman. I didn't know.
Oh,
he was
he's great in it.
You should see it. It's a great.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Classic.
So where were we now? So that's wild that that's coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I like the way they brought in all the different multiverse Spider-Mans. They did a great job.
Spider
with
Pig,
that.
John Mulaney's Spider Pig, or Porker Parker.
Yes, yeah. You know,
So funny.
Something like that they can only do in animation, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but they hit that out. You know, I love those two movies, and that when they come out with that third one, I mean, I can't see them not nailing it.
They actually changed animation with them too. Like a lot of movies nowadays are trying to replicate their style. They didn't just do the Disney Pixar looking movie necessarily. They did a lot of comic book inspired stuff, paint strokes and stuff like that.
Hey, you know what I was pleasantly surprised by? Pleasantly surprised by. Not too surprised because I heard this guy liked it, and we like a lot of the same shit.
I know what you're talking about.
The Transformers new one.
Oh, Transformers 1, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's
Hey man,
a lot better than it should have been. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I went to corner one of my fighters in Atlantic City, and every time I go there now, this is part of my routine. They have an IMAX theater in the Tropicana. Did you know that?
No.
I don't think anybody does. Well, that place is a fucking town of zombies anyway. So there's nobody ever in there. There's always like two people in there. I saw Dune 2 in there.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Tremendous.
I'm going to have you back for that.
Yes, we could do that.
Don't get me started about Dune. I will cheer and cry and fucking do backflips.
I'm right with you.
I will do that same that handspring I did after I knocked out Frank Trink. Sorry, Trink. We'll talk about those another time. But that, you know, I love those fucking Dune movies.
I
but
heard the last Transformers was pretty good too. The last live action one
It was
I heard was
okay.
good.
It was okay. I was the one that just
Beasts?
Rise of the Beast, whatever it was called. But this movie, the Transformers one, because the trailer was atrocious.
I saw it. Yeah.
It was so bad, the trailer, and I went into it going, all right, this is gonna be another one. It's aimed towards my 6-year-old. It's not. It's probably the best Transformers movie. I love the 1986 animated one. But
It's a prequel to that, right?
I mean,
someone
there's
saying
a lot
it, like, explains
there's-
some stuff in
There's
that.
a lot of references to it, so maybe, but it,
100% more of a prequel because it's
Yeah,
their
it's-
origin story of
yeah.
both Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Well, but he means direct.
It's the nerdiest thing I said all fucking. That's the nerdiest thing I said. Well, it's the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Yeah, you need some fake glasses. You need some of those like the fighting nerds. They
Yeah.
wear their like glasses.
That's a big thing now.
need a
Like
pair
when I
of
grew
those.
up, like people like not kids like I don't want to get glasses. I'll get cold 4 eyes. Now, like my kids, my 15-year-old, they don't need glasses, but they wear them because it's part of their outfit.
The
type of shit.
style.
Isn't that
People
weird?
have told me, I've said before, like maybe one day I'll get contacts, and everyone around me is like, no, you're not allowed. Like you would look too strange with contacts. So everyone around me tells me I'm a glasses guy. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. People, it's in style, I guess. It's been in style. But where the fuck was I? Bring him back. What were we up to?
Peter Parker's a glasses guy till he isn't.
Well, I think kind of closing out on you guys talked about the animated stuff, and you talked about.
But check that shit out though. It's funny when you said Transformers. I thought you were bringing me back from my ADD. I gave you a wig because I was. You were like Transformers. I heard that was good, but
I thought you were going to bring up the Ninja Turtles animated movie that came out recently. Did you see that one?
fucking did not like it.
Oh, you didn't? I thought it was pretty good.
So Phoenix was shocked too. She loved it because I love Tribe Called Quest. I love all that shit. I didn't like it at all, and I didn't like the Splinter making out with a centipede and fucking. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, what the fuck is that? Listen, Splinter. They don't got to be top 10 models, but anyway, I didn't like it. I fucking didn't like it at all. I didn't dislike the new ones. I didn't think they were bad at all. The two
the Michael Bay ones.
the Michael Bay ones. Yes, he's big.
I didn't hate him.
I didn't hate him.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought they looked cool. I like that scene in the elevator when they're clicking. They're like, I liked it. You could watch those movies. And
I don't remember the second one much. I remember liking the first though.
It was okay.
Yeah.
The second one was okay too. You go back and try to watch the originals.
No Ninja Turtle slander on this podcast.
Oh yeah,
Come
the
on.
1990 one's great. Come on.
And
When
Secret
it
of the
came-
Ooze.
when
Come
it-
on. Secret of the Ooze when you're a kid, there's nothing better than that.
Oh, I used to love it as a kid, though. I did. And
Turtles in Time. Ooh.
Which is the one with Vanilla Ice?
Secret of the Ooze, I think.
yeah, it was rough. But what was that? The turtle. What was he saying? What was he singing?
I can't remember, but I just remember being it.
Turtle Power. They
That was
actually
first-
did
that was the
they did a
1990.
tour too. Like they did a full tour in stadiums doing Ninja Turtles concerts with
Hilarious.
performers in the Jim Henson suits.
Is Corey Feldman there for that one?
He might have been. He might
have. Should have been.
Yeah.
That Corey Feldman. You have to pretend that they didn't make a sequel to Lost Boys. They did.
No,
I
did
didn't.
they really?
I didn't know they did.
They did. They did. And
Was it him? Was it him and his brother?
And,
If it was about
at the
them.
very end of it, even Corey Haim was in it for a second.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not making this shit up.
I believe it. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was horrible. It was fucking horrible.
I believe that.
that I believe totally.
Yeah, because they the one frog brother died, and then the other one was, I don't know. It was fucking so bad. When did that come out?
So I'll tell you in a second. The
God,
Lost Boys from Tribe.
2008, so
Wow.
way after the first one.
It was horrible. You got to pretend it doesn't exist.
You got to do that with movies sometimes. You got to have
So-
your own headcanon.
All right, so your favorite, we're in agreement. Your favorite standalone Spider-Man movie.
It's interesting. I think the best standalone Spider-Man movie and my favorite, I have different answers.
Interesting.
I think the best standalone Spider-Man movie might be Spider-Man Homecoming. I think the way they reintroduced Peter Parker, put him in the MCU, put a new twist on him, the writing in that movie, the acting, everything's tremendous.
Even the way it ends when she
So good.
when
It's
she finds
bittersweet.
out. Yeah. Oh wait, which Homecoming is that when she finds out?
That's the first one. That's what
The first one where the ending is Keaton's going to jail and Spider-Man has to say
And in the post thing, you see Aunt May find out.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, and they cut off when she says "fuck."
I think that might be the best standalone Spider-Man movie. My favorite is Spider-Man 2. That's the one that gives me the most
With Doc Ock?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That feels the most Spider-Man to me. It feels the most New York to me. The nostalgia, I'm sure, is a huge factor in that. And that was also, so I saw the first Spider-Man theaters when I was 4. The second one is the one I remember more, actually going to the theater. I remember the shirt I wore to the theater to see that day, like an orange Spider-Man shirt. I was just so excited. And I would say that's my favorite, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is your favorite.
What about you?
Mine is the original Tobey Maguire one.
That's understandable.
Because of my age.
No,
Okay,
I
sorry.
think they're close.
You know why? Because I think it told the story so well, and even him waking up and looking fucking Diesel.
The glasses moment. where it's
Yeah,
like
the glass,
blurry
the way
and-
he shot it. Again, a couple of things. Macy Gray,
Yep, you got it.
Macy Barber.
Macy Barber. Good luck next fight, kid. She's the future. That kid. Macy Gray is not horrible. They're bouncing other things, and then you got
Kirsten Dunst. We haven't mentioned her.
I thought she was great.
She was really good.
She's my MJ. She was great. That little kiss upside down. Jay,
That's
you like
iconic.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They talk about shooting that and they're like, it was hell
well,
because it was
sure.
basically with the rain machine and everything. It was basically like they were waterboarding Tobey Maguire.
Oh, that's
he
so
just
funny.
kept like getting water in
I
his
thought
nose.
you said
and
he was
shit.
motorboating. But you said, I'm sorry. I didn't know
Yeah,
what you.
they
Totally
lowered
different
him
movie.
just a little bit more.
That's the same movie you have to steal on pay-per-view.
That was the James Cameron script.
Yeah, so that one really. I thought that hit it out of the park. And it had that. It told the story. It got you in the feels. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
The score, Danny Elfman's score is fantastic.
And the way exactly, and the way they shot it again from the scene in the lunchroom when he catches the.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that he did that on. He really did it. Like I don't know about that. There's something going on. That sounds like bullshit
I
to
don't
me.
think he did that.
Listen, man, that's not happening. Right? Didn't they say that? He did this with how many takes? I could have swore I heard that, but
When he caught the thing?
it smells like bullshit.
No, they. That's
All right,
the
I
thing.
didn't-
They did that?
Yeah, so they did it a whole bunch of different times, and the one that they actually got was him cashing it, but it was after
Holy
dropping it a
shit.
ton of times.
I thought that was for sure like an urban myth.
No. They showed there's been some confirmation on it. I think from Raimi.
There's times I think I feel like did I hear that or did I not hear that?
Yeah,
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would love for Raimi to get another shot at a Spider-Man movie. For them to either do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey or, like you said, some kind of Tobey and Andrew mixed movie. It'd be cool to see. Because I loved when he showed signs of Raimi in Multiverse of Madness, the whole movie didn't feel like a Sam Raimi movie. Yeah. But there were certainly scenes that did, and I loved that.
There's some great scenes in that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie.
I really did.
And I thought it was I did way better than the first Doctor Strange because of all the stuff. But that was the Doctor Strange too, basically. Yeah. I thought that
Wanda as like a horror villain was cool.
I thought I liked that whole thing. I mean, they did make her super powerful, that Scarlet Witch, though.
They did. And then
she's taking out the whole. Yeah, it's true.
But then, she'll be back. Yeah. They're already teasing it with Agatha.
You watching the Agatha one?
Yeah.
I didn't make it through the first episode. Should I go back in?
If you didn't make it through the first, you're not going to like the next couple.
I've been watching it with my wife, and this is what I've been saying about the show. And people have been getting an argument for it. The show is clearly aimed it's for the same audience that, like, say, Desperate Housewives meets Practical Magic, which is fun. It's aimed, and it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Yeah. But any business says, who's our demographic? And they go, well, this is who we're going after. It doesn't mean that nobody else can like it, but that's who they're going after, and they're clearly going. My wife is loving the show.
My fiance is liking it a lot more than I am.
Yeah, and I'm watching it.
Maybe my wife and kids will like it.
That's
if they like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, it's a well-made show.
Has that vibe. Yeah,
it's a well-made show.
You know what they did? What they did like? Kill Bill.
Oh, what a great movie that
Did they just watch that for the first time?
Listen, yeah, they did. And talk about us. Oh, brutal. Man. We went, oh, shit. We're going through the second one now, It was it was hardcore. And talk about, like, women empowerment. Come on, man.
Oh, big time.
Because not only is she a badass, every girl in there is a badass.
Yeah.
Copperhead and all of them.
Fox 5?
Oh, man. Right. The Crazy 88s.
Fox Force 5? Is that it?
I thought Fox Force 5 is what she was supposed to, the show she was in.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
They were the Killers Viper Squad or something.
Viper Squad. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love those Kill Bill movies. Yeah, that's what goes on at the Serra household. We don't watch no fucking Care Bears. No, you know what a Care Bear is nowadays?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I love those movies. All right, Robbie. So we are in agreement as far as with Tom Holland we feel the best Spider-Man. You love Spider-Man 2. I love Spider. We love all the Spider-Mans pretty much, but or like a strong like on the Garfields. I'm happy that Garfield got his redemption in No Way Home. And again, he really did. And I'm happy that's for him because the last time you seen him on there, kind of left a bad taste in your mouth. And it erased all that with him. Yeah. But I love the way they did that. They brought him back, but to have him do that and the way it ended, it gave you the feels, man. It did. It did for me. And I like the way they did that. I like when they would try to, it's almost like they became like friends in that short time they were together. When he's like, should we do a hug, a group hug or some shit? Garfield was great in it. And
they gave us the point moment. They point at each other.
Yes. That's funny. Yeah, that was great. So nothing but positive. And listen, I was, when I do this show, it's like my homework's revisiting these movies. I did it for the X-Men. I did it for the Batman movies, and I enjoy doing it for the Spider-Man movies. And I'm so happy you came down, buddy. It's not gonna be the last time.
Anytime. You hit me up, I'll hop right on the train.
Robbie, what do you want to plug, man?
I got a podcast. My Mom's Basement we talk stuff like this all the time. Nerdy podcasts and movies, music. Kevin Smith was just on it. So Secret Wars, we reread that to do an entire episode just about the 87 Secret Wars comic. We did that with Jose Youngs. Do you know Jose Youngs, MMA media guy?
Yes, I believe I do. I know if you show me a picture, I definitely...
Comic encyclopedia, this guy.
Here.
Like, he would be good on this show. He lives in New York as well.
Oh,
encyclopedia. Right. He broke everything down, the history of it. So if you're interested in Secret Wars, anything Spider-Man, nerdy stuff, My Mom's Basement. If you're into the MMA stuff, we do stuff at Spin and Backfist, I think we call it.
You had to bring that up. Do you know who got knocked out with the first? You know who got stopped with the first spin? Here's some trivia for you.
Don't tell me it was you.
It was me. It was me. This is my emoji. This one.
The first spinning backfist ever?
Me. Yes, by Shoney Carter in UFC 31.
Fuck.
We just had UFC 300. I used UFC 31.
Yeah.
They show my
Well, sorry
age.
to bring that up.
No, fuck no. I won the rematch.
Okay, good.
I won the rematch. I shocked the world. I don't know. But, you know, it was all part of the journey. But yeah, so Shawnee Carter, the first spinning back fist. And they told me, young Robbie Fox, they told me then, Sarah's jiu-jitsu's crazy, man. It's great. But he's got some pillow hands. They got to get him a new striking coach. And that was the great Ray Longo.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault I ran into a fucking bat. And my fight IQ wasn't there yet. But, you know, I learned. I kept Longo on, of course. I'm not listening to the fucking
And look
masses.
at Longo with the dynasty now.
Longo's got fucking 4 champions now.
Different
And,
eras.
Different eras. Neighborhood kids. We adopted Marab. It's funny. I love seeing lately, like there's just clips of Marab going back to Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, I saw the clips.
It
Crazy. Mobbed. Like Beatlemania.
It is Beatlemania.
Yeah.
And when you see his journey, I seen his journey where he just took us out. He just visited before he went to Paris and then to Georgia. He was in New York for a night or two. And he took myself, Longo, and some of his family and friends to out to dinner. And this guy, Boris, you know, he went back to Georgia for a while, but he was here in the beginning when Marab came here. In the corner from Marab, it was myself, Longo, and Boris. Boris didn't fight. He was the translator. Marab didn't speak any English. So we had this guy, Boris, is a nice, like, mild-mannered guy, and me and Longo. Well, Longo's in one ear, I'm in the other, and we're trying to get him, tell him, bah, 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 bah. And he's like, oh! He's a great guy. I just seen him last night. He bought 6 tickets. Guy spent like $500 to go. He's coming to see my wife. I told you, my wife and my daughter are fighting tomorrow night.
Class act.
Madison Square Garden. So, shout out to Boris. But it was so nice because it brought me back to those memories a decade ago of Marab not speaking any English, a translator in the corner. Now you see him doing funny skits.
I was going to say, now he's like a comedian.
Now he's a comedian. Yeah. He's got the best skits around his person. And he has the American dream. He came over here with nothing. He was working construction and while he was in the UFC. And then at one point, his best friend, Aljamain Sterling, had the title.
Yeah.
Marab beat everybody in his path to get a shot title. Everybody's saying, take the title shot. He didn't do it because it's his best friend. And he held to his integrity, and now he's the champion. Yeah. So it's just so beautiful the way it worked out. I went off on a little rant there.
No, it's beautiful.
Sure. All right. Christian, what do you want to plug?
This show, man. I want to keep getting people to subscribe to this channel. Make sure they keep commenting, liking.
I like when, you know, the comments, I've been reading them. It's so much positive shit.
Yeah, man, of course.
You know?
Nerds are nice people.
They are nice people.
I noticed that I cover, you know, you're in the same world.
Sections are nice.
Yes, agreed. Yes. But like when you do stuff like this and MMA is especially when you look like me, MMA fans aren't, you know, the most praising necessarily.
Really?
When you do stuff like this, it's positivity throughout the entire comment section.
Like I always say, this is my island of misfit toys. This is my people. These people relate with me. They know. And not only that, you hang out with us, Robbie, hang out with me, you're not getting a fucking wedgie. Flash Thompson he's not going to be putting you in a fucking locker.
But if someone saw you and me walking down the street, they might think that, you know, they might think that guy's going to give that guy a wedgie, throw him in a locker. But nerd things, they unite the world.
Not on my watch. All right, everybody. Fun time. See you next time. Oh, wait a minute. What was your thing again? No, find your superpower?
Don't keep bringing that up.
I'm sorry.
Go to yours.
There was a scene. Now, this is funny about this.
This is like the Lord of the Rings ending.
It is. There's a lot of endings.
We ease into it.
This is a post-credit scene.
We ease into it. We ease out of it. This is funny because I love Christian. I love him. He's we're getting close. But you know what I hate is The Last Jedi.
I'm not on board with The Last Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi.
No.
I'm sorry. I love it. Yeah, we might be here for another hour.
Wait, the fact that you love that, you're going to come on within the next month or so. Yeah. We're going to have a Star Wars thing. I don't give a fuck. That you just blew my mind that you love that. But we're going to talk about that. But there is a scene in that.
Yeah.
And I never related to it before until Christian told me to find my superpower. Is when... And I love Christian.
That's not. Look, can I defend myself here?
Defend yourself. Go ahead.
So this is the guy talks about at his at his dojo. How he tells everybody to find their superpower, to make sure that they're doing whatever it is, and he's like the sensei, but he treats it like everybody else is finding what's in within.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find an ending to the show, and then they were doing a Batman thing, and like so same Matt time, same Matt channel.
Perfect, yeah.
Right, and so he hated that, and then we're like, well, what about what you always say at your dojo? It's like find your superpower, and he's been killing me the last.
What does
2
this
weeks
have to do with The Last Jedi?
Well, I'll tell you right now, because Luke Skywalker
Yeah,
is
legend.
the purest of. He always
I got his
showed.
lightsaber right here.
Goddamn right you do.
Yeah,
Purest of the fucking Jedis. I mean, he's the guy that he's the mentor you want.
yeah,
He's not fucking Anakin. He's not that guy. He had the cheat. Could have been. He's not.
yeah.
Yet there's a point in The Last Jedi when and I relate this though, when Christian said this, find your superpower.
You're
lying. No,
You're lying.
You spoke. My turn. I felt like Luke Skywalker over young Ben fucking Solo with
you thought about killing him.
I was about to fucking. I go, oh my superpower, Christian, and then I came to because I don't want to kill her. I love Christian, so I related to that moment. But anyway,
it's your line.
Everybody, you're gonna like this better because this sums me up. Everybody, stay humble yet dangerous. Bye. We're done.